There's someone you just can't seem to get out of your head. You've tried moving on. You've told yourself countless times that it's over. You've reminded yourself again and again to let go and protect your peace. But no matter what you do, they keep slipping back into your thoughts, not loudly, not desperately, but with a quiet, persistent pull that feels almost unexplainable. And you find yourself asking the same question over and over. Am I holding on to something that isn't real? Or is there something genuine here that my soul is trying to show me? What I'm about to share could completely change how you see what's happening inside you. Some connections don't follow the usual rules. They don't fade with time. They aren't weakened by distance. And they don't simply vanish when you try to forget them. Carl Jung dedicated his life to studying these bonds. And what he discovered will shift the way you understand your feelings right now. In the next few minutes, I want to help you see why certain people refuse to leave your mind, what your inner self is trying to communicate through this, and the one mistake that could cost you something profound if you walk away too soon. By the end of this, you'll have clarity about whether this lingering presence is a sign to hold on or a lesson nudging you to release. Life has moments that change us in ways we don't always notice at first. There are people who enter our world and make coincidence feel impossible. You can try to trace the timeline, analyze every event, and explain everything logically, but deep down, your intuition already knows. This wasn't random. This person didn't simply wander into your life by accident. They arrived carrying something essential for you to see, feel, or understand about yourself. And when they appeared, something shifted within you. Subtle at first, almost imperceptible, yet permanent. Even now, as you attempt to create distance, as you tell yourself this chapter is closed, as you imagine moving forward, there's still something drawing your awareness back to them. It isn't frantic or obsessive. It's calm, steady, and undeniable, like your soul recognizes something your mind hasn't fully grasped yet. If you're hearing this right now, that's no coincidence either. Messages with real meaning always arrive at the exact moment we're ready to receive them. Jung once wrote that people who look outside themselves are dreaming, but people who look inside wake up. Right now, something inside you is waking up. There's a quiet knowing in your chest that refuses to be silenced. A gentle whisper reminding you that this connection wasn't meant to dissolve easily. It hints that there's something here worth understanding before you make a final choice about letting go. You're probably feeling torn. Part of you wants to hold on, to trust the emotions that stirred so strongly. Another part wants to step back completely, to protect yourself from more uncertainty or pain. You're caught between trusting what your heart sensed and doubting yourself because of what your eyes see. The silence, the distance, they make even the strongest heart question its own truth. You may wonder if you imagined it all, if the depth of your connection was something you created in your mind. But here's what you need to understand. If it had been only imagination, it would have faded by now. Illusions crumble with time. Fantasies lose their grip when reality sets in. But this hasn't faded, has it? Time hasn't weakened it. Pain hasn't erased it. Every attempt to detach has only brought you back to the same undeniable truth. This person matters. Not in a way that inflates your ego, not in a way that seeks validation, but in a way that touches something deep, something at the soul level. And let me be clear, this isn't obsession. Obsession is loud, restless, and anxious. It demands attention constantly. What you're feeling is different. It's quiet, but profound. It lives beneath your conscious thoughts, surfacing in still moments, in dreams, in sudden waves of emotion that appear without warning. It feels like unfinished business, like there's a meaning here your soul is nudging you to understand. Think back to when you first met this person. Something ancient, almost familiar, stirred inside you. It wasn't just physical attraction or shared interests. It was a deeper recognition, a sense of knowing them without any logical explanation. The words may have been ordinary, but the energy beneath them was intense. Your body felt both safe and alert, a rare combination that leaves a permanent mark. Jung also said something powerful about these encounters. When two personalities truly connect, it's like two chemicals coming into contact. If a real reaction occurs, both are transformed, and you have been transformed, whether they openly acknowledge it or not. This connection has changed them too. Genuine connections aren't casual. They shift something fundamental inside, opening parts of us that can never fully close again. Even now, despite the distance and silence, they feel your presence more than they might show. Some people experience emotions deeply, but struggle to express them. Silence doesn't always mean absence of care. Sometimes it means the feelings are so intense there's no safe way to hold them. Your presence awakened something in them they weren't prepared to face. Instead of moving toward you, they stepped back, hoping distance would calm what they felt. But distance doesn't erase energy. In their quiet moments when the world fades, you return to their thoughts. They remember the way you made them feel truly seen and understood. That contrast with the emptiness around them disturbs them. They're not distant because they feel nothing. They're distant because they feel too much. There are struggles within them that were never yours to solve. Old wounds, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing control, fear of being truly seen. For some, love feels dangerous precisely because of what it exposes within themselves. If you're feeling this way, take heart. This connection, this persistent presence in your mind, is more than coincidence. It's a signal, a message, a quiet, steady reminder that something profound unfolded between you, something your soul recognizes even when your mind doubts. And understanding that is the first step toward clarity, toward deciding whether to embrace it, learn from it, or release it with gratitude, knowing it has already changed you forever. This is where so many profound connections begin to fracture. One person grows, stretches, evolves, while the other hesitates to face their own reflection. You became that mirror for them. You reflected back parts of themselves they had long buried. Carl Jung captured this truth when he said that until we bring the unconscious into consciousness, it will steer our entire life, and we call it fate. Right now, they are being guided by fears they haven't yet confronted. But once something has been awakened in someone, it can never go back to sleep. What's been seen, felt, or learned cannot be unlearned. What you brought into their life, emotional honesty, gentleness, and truth, cannot simply disappear. You reached a part of them that had been locked away for a long time. That kind of impact leaves a lasting trace, gradually reshaping things from the inside out. The universe doesn't arrange meaningful meetings without purpose. If this connection were meant to end cleanly, it would have done so without leaving lingering traces. Yet here you are, dreaming of them, noticing their presence in sudden thoughts, catching small synchronistic moments that make your heart pause. These aren't coincidences. They are reminders to trust the flow of life rather than force outcomes. There is a big difference between trying to control someone and trusting that things will unfold in the right time. It's understandable if you feel weary. Loving without clarity takes its toll, but hope is not weakness. It's quiet guidance from your inner self. True intuition doesn't shout. It's calm and steady. Beneath the surface, subtle shifts are happening. Not visibly, not dramatically, but internally. Resistance is softening, fear is being questioned. Hearts that once shut down are slowly beginning to open again. The thought of losing you completely is starting to feel more painful than the risk of trying again. This is not an ending. It's a pause, a space where real transformation occurs quietly. You are not being told to sit idle while life moves on. You're being invited to remain centered, to stay grounded, and to hold your balance even as you remain open. Jung also said that patience is the key to joy, but true patience is not passive. It is strong and rooted. It respects timing without compromising self-worth. As you read these words, notice what resonates naturally. Truth doesn't demand belief. It simply feels steady. If your heart feels lighter, calmer, or steadier in this moment, that's your answer. This bond has not been broken. It is shifting, transforming, and in this process, you are growing just as much as they are. Your mind wants certainty, clear answers, labels, timelines, but the soul works differently. It uses uncertainty to refine us. It strips away illusions and false attachments, leaving only honesty behind. What you are experiencing is not just waiting, it's becoming. Since this connection entered your life, you are no longer the same. Your emotional awareness has deepened. Your standards have risen. You can no longer accept shallow attention or lukewarm love. Something inside now demands true safety and genuine alignment. That is not by accident. It's growth sparked by a deep connection. Sometimes a bond doesn't arrive to stay immediately. Sometimes it comes to awaken you first. It shows you what's possible. It reveals what your heart truly needs, not what you were conditioned to settle for. Once you awaken to that truth, there is no turning back. Even if this person is physically absent, the change inside you remains alive. Letting go may feel impossible, but not because of desperation. It's because you discovered a new part of yourself. You learned how deeply you can love. You saw how open your heart can become. You witnessed your own capacity for sincere care and strength. The soul never abandons its expansion. Doubts may still creep in. If this were real, wouldn't it be simple? Or, if they cared, wouldn't they show it? These questions are the logical mind trying to measure what the soul experiences. Deep connections rarely move in straight lines. They spiral, layer upon layer, returning to the same lessons at deeper levels. The challenge is not lack of feeling, it's timing and readiness. You may be prepared to open fully, but they may still be learning to face themselves. Readiness cannot be rushed. It must grow from within. There are moments when they almost reach out, times when your name hovers on their lips, moments when they hold their phone, ready to type a message, but fear holds them back. Fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of not being enough, fear of opening something they aren't sure they can handle. So they stay silent, hoping time will heal what only courage can. Yet, time keeps bringing you back into their awareness. Unfinished connections never just vanish. They linger quietly in the night, in the early hours of morning, in conversations that feel hollow, in experiences that seem flat. You become the standard they cannot ignore. You may have noticed subtle signs around you lately. These are not meant to trap you. They are there to guide you, to keep you steady. Every echo, every quiet nudge, every memory is a reminder that this is not the end. It is part of a process that reshapes hearts, strengthens awareness, and expands consciousness. Just when doubt feels overwhelming, something quietly reminds you that this connection was real. Maybe it's a dream that carries vivid emotion, or a memory that feels peaceful instead of painful. These moments aren't pulling you backward. They're reinforcing your trust. And trust doesn't mean sitting in sadness or clinging to uncertainty. It means living fully while remaining aligned with who you are. Right now, a subtle transformation is happening inside you. You're learning the difference between attachment and alignment. Attachment says, I need this person to feel complete. Alignment says, I am already whole, and what is meant for me will return in honesty. That inner shift is powerful. When you stand in that quiet, confident place, everything around you begins to reorganize naturally. When you stop chasing clarity and instead embody it, the energy of the connection itself changes. Something inside you relaxes, the tension eases, the pressure gradually lifts. What was once fueled by worry or fear is now grounded in steady, calm presence. And this is the state in which a genuine reunion becomes possible. If they were to return while you are drained, anxious, or shrinking yourself to meet them, the cycle would simply repeat. But when you are centered, self-respecting, and emotionally complete, a different kind of connection can emerge. Balanced, mutual, healthy. This delay isn't a punishment, it's preparation. It's shaping you to receive love without losing yourself, to recognize authentic effort instead of chasing empty potential, to meet them as a person rooted in self-worth, not approval-seeking. They can sense this change even if they cannot articulate it. They notice that your energy is no longer reaching outward in neediness. They feel it drawing inward, steady and centered. They notice that you're no longer waiting desperately. And strangely, that is what makes the bond feel more serious. It is no longer automatic. Connection now must be chosen consciously. And that awareness begins to loosen fear, because the reality of losing you becomes undeniable. The heart starts speaking louder than the walls they built. Memories soften, regret surfaces. The desire to repair what was broken grows quietly, steadily. You may find yourself moving through moments of calm detachment, followed by waves of emotion returning. That is not weakness, that is alignment in action. You are no longer struggling against the connection, nor drowning in it. You allow it to exist without trying to control every outcome. And that balance carries immense power. It signals to the universe and to them that you are ready to meet truth in whatever form it arrives. Truth always moves toward readiness. The path between you is not blocked. It is being cleared. Old misunderstandings fade. Resistance softens. What once felt messy and chaotic is reorganizing beneath the surface. Right now, you don't need to do anything extra. No convincing, no explanations, no proving your worth. Just remain present. Stay honest with yourself. Stay open, but don't chase. Everything else is unfolding in perfect timing. As this process continues, you may notice a subtle shift, not longing, but quiet certainty. A knowing that doesn't need constant reassurance. A trust that doesn't rely on signs to survive. Something is moving toward alignment, naturally without force. There comes a moment when longing transforms into understanding. Not because the bond fades, but because your relationship with it evolves. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start feeling, "Maybe this is happening for me." That gentle shift changes everything. Pain slowly turns into wisdom. You begin to see that this connection was never meant to consume your identity, but to reveal it. It teaches you where you once compromised yourself, the difference between intense emotion and true intimacy, between attachment and genuine devotion, between fantasy and reality. As that lesson settles in, suffering loses its grip. Thoughts of them shift, no longer chaotic, no longer desperate. They arrive softly, sometimes with warmth, sometimes with calm clarity, always with acceptance that whatever happens must be rooted in honesty, not fear. That is emotional maturity taking hold. This is a turning point for the connection. When one person in a profound bond grows, the energy naturally adjusts. Energy always seeks balance. When you stop chasing answers and become the answer yourself, life begins to realign. What felt frozen starts moving again. What felt confusing begins making sense. They feel it too, even if they cannot fully explain it. Your energy no longer reaches them as neediness, but as quiet strength. It's a presence that cannot be manipulated or ignored, and that unsettles them more than chasing ever did. Silence now carries a new meaning. It is not rejection, it is reflection, internal processing. They are being called to look within, to confront patterns that once kept them safe: avoidance, emotional distance, the need to control. Those habits once protected them, but now only deepen isolation. There are moments when they feel the urge to reach out, followed by hesitation. That push and pull is not about you. It is about them standing at the edge of their own growth. To move forward is to open their heart. To stay back is to risk losing something meaningful. That tension cannot last forever. And this is what truly matters for you. The outcome of this connection will not be determined by how much you hope. It will be determined by how deeply you honor and respect yourself. The more you stay true to your own inner guidance, the clearer the path ahead becomes. Whether that path leads to reunion or to release, it will not break you. It will build you. Your soul already knows something that your mind may still be wrestling with. This connection carries unfinished meaning, not because it thrives on drama, but because it calls for honesty. Words left unsaid, feelings never fully expressed, decisions delayed out of fear. These things do not simply vanish. They wait for courage. Right now, fear stands before both of you, asking to be acknowledged. Your role is to trust your intuition without losing yourself. Their role is to open their heart without hiding behind walls. Both of these lessons unfold gradually, step by step. You may notice that the thought of reunion doesn't stir the old excitement it once did. Not because your feelings have diminished, but because your standards have shifted. You no longer accept confusion disguised as destiny. You want clarity, effort, and genuine presence. This new inner alignment doesn't push them away. It invites them to rise. Many people misunderstand deep connections. They think true bonds exist to keep you in endless suffering, that pain is proof of love. But authentic soul connections are never meant to trap you. They are meant to guide you back to yourself first. Only then, if alignment exists, can they bring two people together in truth. You are stepping into that alignment now. There may be moments ahead when communication opens unexpectedly, a message that feels honest, a conversation that carries more truth than before, or simply an energetic shift where everything feels lighter and clearer. Do not rush these moments. Real reconnection cannot be forced or fabricated. If fear resurfaces, fear of being hurt, fear of hoping, allow it to exist without letting it drive your choices. This fear is not a signal of danger. It's a memory of past pain trying to protect you from something that has already passed. You are no longer the person you were at the start of this journey. You are stronger, more grounded, more self-aware. You no longer need to prove your worth through patience or sacrifice. Your growth already speaks for itself. Whether they meet you at this level is their choice, but they will feel the difference. Life responds to embodiment, not longing. And now, you are embodying something entirely new: self-respect, emotional independence, calm, trust. These qualities change timelines in ways that effort alone never could. Notice how your body reacts when you think of them now. Less tension, less urgency, more openness, more space. That is alignment, your soul settling into honesty. What comes next is not about waiting. It is about allowing life to reveal what is real, allowing love to meet you where you are now, not where you once begged to be seen. Allowing this bond to either rise into truth or fade into understanding without bitterness. And yet you feel it. It's not over. Beneath the surface, something is still stirring. Courage growing, honesty forming, words waiting to be spoken from a place of wholeness rather than fear. Stay present, steady, loyal to yourself. The next phase asks not endurance, but discernment. There is a quiet strength that grows when you no longer need constant reassurance to trust what you feel. That strength comes from alignment, not surrender. You stop searching outside for signs because something within has become calm. not from giving up, but from trust. Trust that what is real cannot avoid truth forever. At this point, the connection no longer feels like a question. It is a mirror reflecting where you stand. You realize now that this bond was never meant to be chased. It was meant to be met on equal ground. And equality can only happen when both people are fully themselves. You no longer need to explain your worth, rush to defend your feelings, or bend to meet expectations that are not yours. You understand yourself and the way you love. You know that real love does not require confusion as proof. This grounded state transforms everything. When you stop stretching yourself to keep a connection alive, it must respond truthfully. It will either rise to meet you or reveal its boundaries. Either outcome brings clarity. They can feel this shift. The space you once filled with effort is no longer available, not because your heart is closed, but because you no longer abandon yourself. Your presence has become clean, steady, undistorted by fear. That presence is confronting. It brings hidden emotions to the surface. They feel the weight of what was almost lost. The contrast between your old energy and your new energy is impossible to ignore. Responsibility begins to awaken within them, not shame, but accountability. Accountability for words unspoken, actions delayed, courage postponed. Responsibility opens the door to change. You chose growth over obsession, integrity over chasing, self-respect over sacrifice. Now, they stand at the edge of their own choice. This process is not fast. It asks them to release old defenses and identities, to embrace vulnerability where control once ruled. What matters most is not the speed, but the direction, and the direction is moving forward. You may notice moments of emotional closeness without words, a sudden warmth, calm instead of longing, knowing instead of wishing. This is resonance. When two people are deeply aligned, distance cannot destroy the bond. It only delays its expression. That expression is coming, not in chaos, but in clarity. And when it arrives, it will not require you to shrink. You are no longer the version of yourself who accepted crumbs of attention as destiny or promises without action. You understand that love is lived, not just felt. Everything has slowed for a reason. Anything built before this awareness would have collapsed under imbalance. One heart open, one heart closed, one ready, one afraid. That pattern only produces pain. You are no longer available for that story. What is being prepared now is different. If they return, it will not be from curiosity or loneliness. They will come with intention, responsibility, awareness, and presence. If they do not return, you will not break. You will not fall apart. Because the greatest gift of this connection was never the promise of reunion. It was your return to yourself. It was deeper self-trust, a clearer inner voice, and a stronger emotional backbone. You now understand the difference between chemistry and true soul compatibility, between missing someone and being truly aligned with them, between waiting from fear and honoring timing without compromising yourself. This is not the end. It is refinement. Love becomes wiser, calmer, more mature. Whatever comes next will meet you at the level you now stand. A quiet confidence is rising inside you, a calm voice whispering, "I will be okay no matter what happens." This is not coldness or distance, it is wholeness. Your soul no longer begs for love, it allows love to flow naturally. Notice how your life is expanding. Clarity returns, energy feels renewed, possibility emerges, not dependent on their return but on your own awakening. That is the real transformation. That is the gift. Whether they recognize it or not, whether they meet you in that space or not, you have already won because you found your way back to yourself, and that is something no one can ever take away.